council to order. This is an open meeting, and you gentlemen in purple are sure welcome to stay. We'll see ya. Right around the corner is the actual Open Meeting Act, made accessible to anyone who chooses to read the open meeting. If you would, we're going to stand for a moment of silence, and as well as the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Beth, roll call.
Rehnquist.
Here.
Lange.
Here.
Merrill.
Here.
Clausen.
Here.
Murin.
Here.
Moaning.
Here.
Faust.
Here.
File.
Here.
All right. And I would look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as provided you.
So moved, Your Honor. Second.
Motion with a second to approve the consent agenda. Please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative.
Okay, and as well approval of the full agenda.
So moved, Your Honor. Second.
A motion with a second to approve the full agenda as provided. Again, please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative.
Okay, we'll jump right into public hearings. And there's a public hearing noted here to amend the city's comprehensive plan from rural residential to single-family residential in the 2000 block of Highway 35. And along with that, we're going to open the public hearing at the request of Jonathan D. and Elizabeth A. Spray, Gary and Mary White, Jason Forsland, Iva May Thielander, Eric and Donna Benson, Alan and Cheryl Wagoner, Timothy L. and Stephanie Grubb, Vernon C. and Mary Sire, and Donald J. and Victoria Mosier for a zoning change from A agricultural to R1 single-family residential in the 2000 block of Highway 35. And so with that, I've opened this public hearing, and Trent, you're speaking to this?
Mayor and council, we were approached by Tim Grubb, and he is sitting out here, not to put you on the spot, Tim, but anyway, he did a lot of background and a lot of work with the neighbors there. He's zoned ag. His taxes he pay as residential in Stanton County. And he was wanting to place a building on that structure. These lots they're lots of record, but they're small. Acre and a half, mostly, which is difficult in ag zoning to build accessory buildings in because of your setbacks. So you're dealing with 50-yard setbacks and 15 on the side, which pretty much kind of eats up where you're going to place a building in ag zoning. So he worked with the neighbors there and went to every one of them along there. And they were all supportive of this as well. We got R1 zoning not too far away, which is Woodland Park along Highway 35 there. We have city sewer running along Highway 35. We got some of them hooked into that sewer system already. Some of them are on septic tank as of yet, but they're close enough that if there's failure, then they will hook in. So I guess if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Thanks, Trent. Any questions for Trent before I see if there's anyone else that wants to speak? Mr. Grubb, maybe? You want to come forward and speak, or? I'm going to ask that you sign in for us, Tim, and state your name, please.
Yes, my name's Tim Grubb, and I went to put in for a building permit, realized the setbacks on it. That part didn't bother me as much as to find out if we would have storm damage, smoke damage, and more than 50% on any of the properties we could not rebuild because it is zoned agricultural. State requires 3 acres to even repair our homes. Now, we're being taxed as R1 So anybody that actually has money borrowed against them houses, if the bank knew that, probably would not be real happy with that. We're being taxed as a residence, but it's zoned ag, so I would like to get it changed to represent what we're actually for. That is actually the biggest. I could deal with a setback on it, but I don't want something to happen to my house and then I can't fix it on that same piece of property. None of us raise farm animals, you know. It's being used as residential, and I feel that's how it should be zoned.
Makes sense. Any questions, anybody? Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone else that wants to come forward and speak to this or may have questions regarding this issue? Okay. If not, moving forward, we'll close the hearing, and I'm going to ask for a motion for consideration first of ordinance number 5346, which would be amending the city's comp plan from agricultural to single-family residential in the 2000 block of Highway 35.
Your Honor, I would offer ordinance number 5346 for consideration.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for consideration. Any further discussion here? Beth, you have a short title for us?
An ordinance of the City of Norfolk, Madison County, Nebraska, amending the zoning district, nope, that's not the right one. Excuse me.
That's okay.
An ordinance of the City of Norfolk, Nebraska, amending the future land use map of the City of Norfolk, Nebraska, providing when this ordinance shall be in full force and effect, and providing for publication of this ordinance in pamphlet form.
Okay, and with that, I would ask for your vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5346 carries on first reading.
Your Honor, I'd move we suspend the rules and pass ordinance 5346 on the second and third reading.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion with a second to suspend the rules and pass ordinance number 5346 on second and third. If no further discussion at all, please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5346 carries on second and third.
All right, and with that, we'll follow up with consideration of ordinance number 5347, approving the zone change request from A agricultural to R1 single family in the 2000 block of Highway 35.
I'll move to introduce ordinance number 5347.
Second.
We have a motion with a second for consideration of ordinance number 5347. Any discussion at all? If not, short title.
An
Beth?
ordinance of the City of Norfolk, Madison County, Nebraska, amending the zoning district map of the City of Norfolk, Nebraska, providing when this ordinance shall be in full force and effect, and providing for publication of this ordinance in pamphlet form.
Okay, please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5347 carries on first reading.
Your Honor, I move we suspend the rules and pass ordinance 5347 on second and third.
Second.
A motion with a second to suspend the rules and pass ordinance number 5347 on second and third. Please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5347 carries on second and third.
Okay. Let's jump to the May sales tax report. Randy?
Yes, Your Honor. In the agenda package, you have the May sales tax report. You can see that sales tax is up about 4% from the same month in the prior year. Year to date, we're up, trying to find it now. Caught me by surprise here.
I did?
We're up $430,557 or 8.43%. I expect that's primarily due to the hailstorm we had last year. And I would expect that some of that effect will continue on into this year. You know, repairs are continuing to be done, like the roof on this building, for a while. I think I'm sure of, we won't be able to budget sales tax next year the way we usually do, where we take the last 12 months receipts and that's what we budget for sales tax. We'll have to do something different than that this year, because, well, the way hailstorms have been coming, maybe.
You'll be careful what you ask for there.
I wouldn't anticipate that when it comes to budgeting anyway, so. Sales tax is looking good year to date. I think, as we get into the construction season, I would expect to see some growth left over from the hailstorm last June, but I don't expect next year's sales tax to be anywhere near as good as this year's sales tax. Answer any questions?
Any questions at all for Randy? We appreciate the fact that, I think it's a good idea, and it was suggested by Councilman that we give opportunity for you to give us a little bit of your input on whether it's up or down or wherever it might be. So I think it's great that the public has that opportunity to hear too. So appreciate that report. Next, we're looking for consideration of approval of contract with Rutchins Construction for the sanitary sewer improvements 2015-1 on 7th Street, Michigan Avenue to Durland Avenue project for an amount of $181,314.55.
I'd move consideration of acceptance of the bid.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion with a second, and looks like Mark is here to speak to us on this.
This is the same project I discussed with you last meeting. It's the about 1,000 feet of sewer going north of Michigan Avenue on 7th Street. We received bids, and the bid was, we had a single bidder, Rutchins Construction, that was over our estimate, so we got approval to negotiate at the previous meeting. We sat down and talked with Rutchins and basically got that price down to, the contract price down to $181,000. The original bid price was $204,000. Mainly, this is due to we're going to pursue an alternate method of construction than what we were originally planning. Again, this is a unit price contract, so we got the unit prices to what we think are acceptable unit prices, and we would like to move forward with this project. So, any questions or specifics, I'd be happy to answer them.
You say alternate form of?
Yeah, basically what we were planning on doing is moving the new sewer offset to the side so we could get the sewer main in, constructed, pressure tested, and then go back and tie services in after everything's completed. But in talking with the contractor, they thought it would be better and easier and more efficient for them to basically take out the old sewer as they put in the new sewer on the same alignment, which obviously wouldn't allow you to pressure test because you have to tie in services right away. So we're gonna, instead of doing a pressure test at the end, they're gonna run a camera down it and provide us cameraed sewer at the end of the project, demonstrating that it's acceptable. So it will save significant costs on there.
Any other questions for Mark while he stands before us? Okay, thank you, Mark. All right, if nothing further on that topic, I would ask you to vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
Okay, seeing nothing further on the agenda, I do want to mention June 11th, which is a Thursday evening from 5:30 to 7 p.m. There will be a neighborhood meeting or a community meeting, if you're so inclined and want to come listen to a discussion on the future efforts over near Johnson's Park, Nebraska Avenue. We will gather here, your council will be here, and certainly the staff to answer any questions you may have and talk about the future for that area. So nothing more, we're adjourned.